Modern flyers have been left feeling uneasy after Qantas confirmed it has found cracks in 3 of its Boeing 737s, taking them out of service. Now, the Flying Kangaroo said the repairs will likely be complex, but expects the 3 planes to be fixed by the end of the year. Qantas is assuring customers they are in safe hands.
Qantas will never fly a plane if we do not believe it is safe to do so.
But the Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineers Association has called for Qantas now to ground its entire Boeing fleet. For more, we're joined by aviation expert Geoffrey Thomas, who's in Perth. Jeff, good morning. The Engineers Union wants all 75 of the 737s grounded. The question now becomes, is this excessive and unreasonable, or is this actually needed to ensure safety? How bad is the problem?
Look, unfortunately, Matt, this is a very irresponsible call by the Engineers Union, and it's not the first time they've done this sort of thing. They did it back in 2011 when they were in an industrial dispute with Qantas, when Qantas had to ground their entire fleet to try and bring the whole matter to a resolution. And at that particular time, they suggested any aeroplane maintained overseas wasn't safe. In other words, they were saying Singapore Airlines and Cathay Pacific aren't safe. This is the sort of very irresponsible tactics that they engage in, which is very regrettable. And in fact, they're in negotiations with their EBA with Qantas again at the moment.
So, Jeff, you say it's all, they're being motivated by a desire for money here, and that the safety issue is which is at the core. All travellers really care about is, are the planes safe? You say they are safe, there is nothing to worry about.
Look, absolutely. The requirement was to look at these aeroplanes within a certain period of time. Qantas has actually, in actual fact, brought that forward and looked at them all immediately, and they found 3 with these very, very fine hairline cracks. And all the authorities and all the regulators say it is not an issue, and to simply take these ones out of service and correct the fault. So yes, they are absolutely safe.
But Jeff, I'm sure I'm probably not alone where I think, okay, I'd like to be flying in a plane with no cracks at all.
Yes. Yes.
And other passengers, I believe, would want the same thing. Just how dangerous are these hairline cracks? Should Qantas take the steps to investigate all planes, not just the planes that have done a certain amount of landings or a certain number of hours?
Well, the reality, Matt, is that actually every aeroplane flying today will have a fine hairline crack somewhere, like your motor car does. The aviation industry has the most exhaustive, comprehensive check and balance system in place to ensure that aeroplanes are safe to fly, which is why flying is the safest mode of transport. To this Pickle Fork is one of many structural joins between the fuselage and the wing. The particular Pickle Fork involved that has 8 bolts. Each bolt is 2 centimetres thick. They're massive bolts. And this hairline crack is just next to one of these bolt holes. It isn't into the bolt hole. So it really, in the context of all of that, it is incredibly minor, but it's something that needs to be fixed. And Qantas is ultra conservative when it comes to safety. So they're taking this very proactive stance and getting all the ones required checked straight away, not waiting up to 6 months to do it.
Jeff, just quickly, looking at this issue more broadly, Qantas's response is one thing. Boeing, of course, has some questions to answer too. More 737s grounded right around the world. How is the company tackling these bigger issues?
Look, it's really struggling with it. There's a number of reasons for that. One of them is that under the International Civil Aviation Organization rules, I'm talking about the Ethiopian and the Lion Air crashes, Boeing's actually not allowed to comment at all, so they can't defend themselves. They're being attacked by the media in the United States, and I would suggest, Matt, that 95% of what's been written about the MAX aircraft is actually incorrect. And I would also go further by saying that if there had been a Qantas or a Virgin pilot in control of those aeroplanes, they wouldn't have crashed. There's no question about that whatsoever.
Well, Jeff, thank you very much for your thoughts this morning.
Pleasure.
Issues for the